That's north of our CBD, actually known as Quiet Place on the Hill in Aboriginal, and it's had 44% capital growth just in the last 12 months. Stay tuned. We're going to tell you everything about Narraweena.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Morning Minutes. Myself, Michael Bergio, Mark Novak, episode 558. We're doing a suburb snapshot this morning where we do a deep dive into the suburb, a little bit of the history, where it's located, some of the key aspects there, and then overall the growth for sale prices in the past year, past 10 years. We'll have a look at the rental figures, the median price, and just a really good overall. So interesting if you live there, for you to know if you're looking about buying Northern Beaches. You may know the key suburbs that are commonly spoken, like Manly, Dee Wide, Mona Vale, but there are a lot of fringe suburbs too, those core ones like your Narraweena, like your Beacon Hill, which is good for us to talk about. Mark, you had some good morning. You had some interesting stuff there when it was first subdivided. So when did it start? When did people start building houses or subdivided for houses?
World War II.
Yep.
So it's the Aboriginal meaning is quiet place on the hill. A lot of immigrants got into Narraweena. It's great to talk about these suburbs because, you know, Manly gets a lot of limelight. People love it. DY is getting some good limelight. People love it. But to give people other suburbs and even to tell, like, I reckon half the people in Narraweena don't even know where the name came from or what it means. It's just great to know that that's it's a quiet place on the hill. That's cool. So World War II is when, so in the 40s is when immigrants really started getting into Narraweena. It's a high immigrant suburb. A lot of Italians got themselves into Narraweena, and then the government got themselves into public housing in Narraweena as well. So it was a bit of a split suburb that way for a good 30, 40, 50 years.
Yeah, and I'm just bringing up here the map of it where it's located and some good stats. So it's 14 kilometres from the CBD. I can't read it there. Let me switch this around. It's a bit frustrating. So where is it?
Average tenure. So an average family will live in Narraweena for 12 years. So they'll bring up their family and be out of that house in 12 years. Normally, I guess to do an upgrade into a bigger home, or they'll gone through uni and going into a smaller home.
Look at that population, 6,600. 68% owner occupiers is a big stat as well. So a lot of people, when they're looking to buy, Mark, they sort of, especially in unit blocks, they always ask, is this an owner building or is this a renter building? Because it just creates that sort of real neighbourly family, and people are setting down roots there. What have we got here as well? Okay. What's next?
So there's about 1,600 houses in Narraweena and about 187 units. So that's, you can see it's really a house suburb, not really a unit suburb. 45 houses are selling a year. So you're probably one a week, 4 a month are selling in Narraweena. So, I think if you want to get into Narraweena in a month, you got a choice of 4.
Yeah, I love this stats where it puts in here. It is 18 months. So you've got the size of Narraweena, approximately 1.8 square kilometres, so not that big. It has 7 parks covering 4.8% of total area. The population, it was in 2011, 6,100, and now 6,600. So it's about a 10% growth. So really in line with the and they're key things to look at for the suburb capital growth. Is the population increasing or decreasing? So, 7.3% to be exactly. The predominant age group is 40 to 49. years old. And then they've normally got the income here, children likely repaying.
A lot of mums and dads. So your screen's not moving here on my side.
Yeah. So then I'm just reading that bit there.
Uh-huh.
So then you've got general repayments, occupation 63%. Is it about current median
And it's
price?
had
Yeah.
it reaches into some good school catchments as well. So Narraweena is quite good because you can duck up into Chatswood along Ringa Road. They're sort of governed by Ringa Road, so you can duck up Ringa Road. You're in Chatswood. You're in Ryde. You can go out west, or you can use Pittwater Road and duck straight across to the city. So it's quite a handy little place to, and even Manly's quite close. You go down Ringa Road, you get into Manly. It's probably about 10, 12 minutes drive to Manly. So it's just so handy to get into DY. It actually adjoins DY Narraweena. So to get into DY, you're literally touching that suburb. So there's all your shopping, another beach, and a great little precinct your kids and yourself can enjoy.
And now let's have a look at the growth that they've had. Okay, I'll bring these graphs up. RP data sources. Here we go. Can you read that? That's to...
You can zoom up a bit. Another thing that should be mentioned it's really, really delicate on Narraweena, and this is really good inspiration for a lot of suburbs around Sydney. Narraweena's had a lot of public housing, and I just want to say that, supporting public housing, it's generally had not undesirables and desirables when come public housing. So there's some beautiful people that have moved in with the public housing, and there's been some rascals that have moved in with the public housing. But for some strange reason, it still has I don't know why, but you used to have suburbs like DY Beach was a bit rough on when you're on the beach, or Narraweena at night, stay home. There was that joke amongst the locals, but all that seems to have gone. So it's just really a beautiful, beautiful suburb, and it's really crystallised into something amazing. So it's funny that public housing used to be a bit rougher, but it doesn't seem that public housing is at all. I just sold across the road from one last week, and you generally don't get any. You used to have a little bit of trouble sometimes. Police cars were turning up, but you generally don't see that as much anymore. And people, certainly as buyers, they don't really care that much about it. It's interesting how that's changed.
Now we got Narraweena. The last 10 years house growth, it's just phenomenal. So past 10 years, you see the graph here, but it's done 184%, which is just insane. So if you're buying a house for $1 million, it's nearly, what's that? Yeah, it's doubled and almost doubled again in 10 years.
So if you go down a touch, you got a percentage there. If you go down just a little bit, the green there, yeah, look at that, 184. So that's, yeah, you're right, almost double and double. 200% is double and double in 10 years.
And now if we let's have a look at some other stats we got here. The last year in particular, we've had 44%. So it's always good to obviously check the overall, but you want to see what it's done recently. You want to see are the trends going up or the trends going down. And look at that median from basically 1.5 to 2.1 now, 2.21, 44% in a year, which is just, it's phenomenal. There's about 50 sales a year, so not the highest, but that's a good turnover to see trends, because sometimes when people look at a suburb with 10 sales, one suburb can really throw the data out, and it's not a good, accurate picture of it. But we see it's probably on the lower end. Suburb Chroma would have about 100. So yeah, it's up there. But another one to look at, where was this? I just looked at.
And guys, if you do want to know, just put in this chat group. If you do want to know any other suburb stats across Sydney, we do have access to the percentage growth of those suburbs. Just put in the comments here that you'd like to see your suburb or a suburb, and we'll generate this report for you for your suburb anywhere in Sydney that you're watching. Or I think we can do Queensland and Victoria as well. But yeah, look at that.
This one's an interesting one because I'd be very interested to see where the trend goes over the next few years, because rental yield. So this is weekly rent for Narraweena, but it's like this for a lot of suburbs on the northern beaches, where it's virtually been pretty consistent for the last 5 years, not much growth. And when you compare that to property prices, Mark, where in the, like, what's the overall? It's done 12% in 10 years, virtually flat for the last 5. But you compare that to capital growth, where it's done 184% in 10 years, and the last 5, I think it's done 100%. So
guys, if you own a house in Narraweena 10 years ago, your rent would have been about $700 a week. Today, if you own a house in Narraweena, your rent would be about $800 a week. So your rent's changed by $100. But if you own a house in Narraweena for $500,000 10 years ago, that would now be $2 million. What a disparity between rent and sales.
Yeah, and it's a trend where we put it on the last show, but 5 years ago, rates would have been also about 6-7%. So if you would look at that from an investment point of view, or ownership, now interest rates are 1.5%, like 2%. So even though rents are here, before you're paying that much in interest and everything was negative, but now you're down here. So you're making on capital growth. Rent's the same, but your net position is better off now due to the low interest rates. But you sort of look at that.
But your wages have doubled. You remember that, what you said on the show a little while ago about wages?
Yeah, in 15 years they've gone up. I think it was 65%. So
yeah,
it just makes you think, like, interest rate. So you're only making money on a cash flow because of the government's decision to lower it by from 6%, so by a significant amount. It makes you think, well, where is the true rental market? Is it higher? Is it lower? Because when rates go back up to 4%, could be in 5 years though, will rental figures stay the same? Will they go up? Will they go down? Because I think the rental market is hurting, but you can't see it because the rates are so low.
Interesting.
I don't think it's normal not to have growth in 5 years if you just look at that rental market. Yes, you can make.
It's interesting, and that's probably Narraweena is probably consistent for most suburbs to watch that. So our takeaways today from Narraweena, a suburb on the northern beaches of Sydney, are:
it's a great family area to raise kids. It's a mum and dad kid area. Lots of parks. Most people around 40 to 49. It's great growth. It's trending upwards with capital growth. Minimal development opportunities, so it's going to sit pretty steady.
Typically it's three, 4 bedrooms at a house area if you're wanting to get into it. Just to entertain some comments here from Lisa Novak. What do we got there? I saw 3 houses all in the same street with 8 weeks of each other. Each went up approximately 10% on each sale. The market is skyrocketing here. And P.S. of the 3 that sold, they sold 2 of the 3 sold off my socials. Just giving yourself a plug.
So the lowest house price in Narraweena was 1.487, and then you've got this is the ranges. It's just gotten up and down. It's phenomenal. So the lowest was 1.487, the middle range 1.79, the median, and then the tops around that 2.2. There's I think how many properties are on the market?
So what's the take? So just to close up, Burge, the takeaways are phenomenal capital growth. Close. It's only 18 minutes to the city. It's been a great place to be nice and close to the city as well. You know what I've noticed about Narraweena? This is a good one. It's now acceptable. It is now acceptable to be away from work. So now, where people were in Mossman and they went, nah, I'm not going to go to these Northern Beaches suburbs, people are now looking at suburbs like Narraweena going, heck, I can get rid of a bit of my mortgage, or I can have a lower mortgage, and I can be a little bit away from work. So COVID's been kind to Narraweena as well.
And I think it's a good message to wherever you're looking to buy. There's always those key suburbs that everyone knows, Manly, DY, but you can look at the fringe. You can get some great value. There's still great growth as well. And I think, Narraweena is a great pick. And there's many suburbs like that, so it's good to have a look at. Anything else you want to add on to that?
You can get a bus from Narraweena into Chatswood. So really good transport link, and then you can also get into the city as well. If you want to get down to Pittwater Road on DY, you can plug into the city on the B-line bus. So transport's good, school's good, shopping's good. Local shops, there's a good friend of mine, Vel, just moved into Narraweena. He moved out of Colorado Plateau, another suburb, close to Narraweena. But you know what he said about Narraweena? He feels like, not taking away from Colorado Plateau, but this is out of his mouth, he said he feels like it's home more. So he's Serbian, European background, and he feels that Narraweena resonates with him and his family. His wife's from Serbia. He feels it resonates the community, and he said there's the old grandmas walking the streets. There's the European shops, coffee shops and stuff down the road. So it's pretty good. It's a little bit European for the Northern Beaches, Narraweena.
Yes, they've got a good deli there, the fish and chip shop. So the Vietnamese rolls, they've got a second premises, DY. They're
legendary.
It's awesome. But that's a wrap this morning. Thank you everyone for watching.
That's Narraweena. Thanks, Burge.
Oh, wrong button.